Shout out to G-Man Boxing.
Alright, people. So I've had a bit of time to rewatch the Anthony Joshua Alexander Usyk 2, the rematch. Um, it was an interesting fight. It was a very good fight. You know, I definitely enjoyed it. I know to some it might not have been maybe the most entertaining. I think, myself included, to be fair, I think we kind of expected a little bit more drama in the fight as opposed to the post-fight scenes. Although there wasn't really that much drama, but you know what I mean. But overall, I enjoyed the fight. But obviously now it comes, well, I guess you could say the question is what's next for both. But specifically, I'm going to focus this video on Anthony Joshua. I haven't really decided what I'm going to title this video yet. I think of what's next, but I'm just looking into everything really. I'm still trying to understand the aftermath of the interview, like the interview Joshua gave, and how just he seemed to let loose. It was almost like, how many years has it been? It's been a while, 7 years, maybe more, that AJ has had this persona on. This real media friendly, ticking all the right boxes persona. And it seemed last night, after that loss, that at that moment, AJ was like, I'm done. Not done with boxing, done with the whole happy, shiny, nice, media trained, eat your veg, kids, stay humble, all that stuff. And you know, it was strange. It was strange to see. I think because it was just so unexpected. You know, it was unexpected. Like, I mean, I guess I thought to myself, if AJ loses, you know, it will be just more of the same, back to the drawing board. I didn't expect to see him grab the mic, throw the belts down, leave the ring, come back, and you know, it was very interesting. Very interesting. I guess for Joshua, again, I'm only surmising here, but it can't have been easy when you think about it, you know, especially like I guess like it can't have been easy if you're the type of person, and this is not me saying this is who Anthony Joshua is, but if you're the type of person who knows what they're like as an individual, if you know what I mean, like, no, this is kind of how AJ sees things, this is how he thinks things, and maybe not be able to do that, having to hold it all in, having to just store all that inside. And what I mean by that is, it's a case of, you know, when you're interviewed by someone, you know, oh, I really want to say this, but no, rinse and repeat this, the usual stuff like that. So maybe at that stage, AJ, it just kind of was like, it hit the surface and said, enough's enough, I gotta speak my mind. And it was a strange sight. That's the best way to describe that. It was a strange sight. But in terms of the immediate aftermath, AJ has said he's going to come back. Talked about December. Now, I'm just going to come and say this right now. For me, I think Anthony Joshua should have a long rest. And what I mean by that is not coming back straight away. He's been fighting at this level for 6 years, a little over 6 years, since the Dylan White since the Dylan White fight. He's been at this level, operating at world level, close to world level. Obviously, with some of them defenses against Molina, they weren't the best, but he's had that pressure on him for the last 6 years. Maybe it's time now to just take a rain check, enjoy yourself, train with Robert Garcia, because that was a better Anthony Joshua than what I saw in the first fight. So I think Robert Garcia's influence with a longer period of time could pay dividends to him. So train Robert Garcia. In terms of what he might do next, I don't really know. It's an interesting one with the Zone. I know the Zone they're not infallible of it, but they're not as bad as Sky in terms of the squeaky clean, you know, appeared a certain way kind of thing. So I'm sure they would. Some people were saying in the comment section that the Zone might not like the fact that AJ kind of had that outburst. I don't think they'll mind it too much. I think if it was Sky, yeah, they probably would be a bit more, oh no, they'd be kind of, you know, tap on the shoulder. Don't do that again. I don't think the Zone would mind too much, to be honest. They don't seem as bad as Sky for that kind of stuff. But I think he needs to take about 6 months to just relax, see what you want to do, train a bit Robert Garcia, and then we'll see. the two fights that come to mind for Anthony Joshua next, because he's not going to get a world title crack, I would imagine, unless he's a mandatory. So the two fights that I would potentially look at for Anthony Joshua if I was matchmaking him, if you wanted a fight that you'd be fairly confident in picking him and could still make some decent money and you could put it on pay-per-view, would be a Dillian Whyte rematch. Dylan Whyte rematch would be logical. Personally, I'd like to see him take a bit of a break, but if he is talking about fighting in December, well, there you go. It'll be 7 years this year, quick 7 years, that he fought Dylan Whyte in the O2. Maybe they could replay it again. Who knows? Big money fight for both guys. There's no is there really any pressure with that fight? There's no title on the line. There's not really. It wouldn't be an eliminator. So AJ could be in a good place with that. The second name that springs to mind would be Filip Hrgovic, because Hrgovic fought on the undercard. And I'll talk more about his fight on Review of the Week. I'm also doing a live this evening at about 7:30. So if you want to tune in for that, you're more than welcome. We'll do about an hour and we'll talk about the aftermath of this fight. Let the subscribers hop in the chat and they let me know what they think. But I think, again, the way what Hrgovic showed me in that Zhang fight, he showed me several things. One is that I don't think Hrgovic is ready for a jump to world level just yet, but now he is mandatory for the IBF. So Eddie Hearn and Joshua might look at that. Now, I know Hrgovic isn't a matchroom fighter, he's with Sauerland, but Sauerland and Eddie Hearn have had a very good relationship over the years. So if AJ looks to get back in the world title scene and potentially fight Usyk for a third time, or maybe pick up a vacant title, because who knows how long Usyk will have them. He may fight Fury, he may call it a day, who knows. So Hrgovic, in terms of getting back in the world title picture, would seem logical to me, a logical next step. And yeah, Hrgovic didn't look particularly good against Zhilei Zhang. We'll talk about that more in Review of the Week. But it's going to be interesting to see what's next for Anthony Joshua, what he does do moving forward. At the end of the day, whenever he's lost, he's always come out straight away and said, this is what I'm going to do. You know, against Ruiz, straight back into the rematch. Against Usyk, straight back into the rematch the first time. Now, this time he's saying straight back out in December. I think AJ, for me, take a bit of a rest, get a bit more trained, get a bit more familiar with Robert Garcia. I see no reason why you should change at this minute in time. I thought he looked very good in the rematch. He looked a lot better than he did in the first fight. Much, much, much improved. Now, I wonder if he had stayed with Rob McCracken, I wonder what kind of fight we would have got. I really do, because I definitely saw improvements in Anthony Joshua there. They were definitely there. I do think that there was things that he wasn't doing that I thought he should have done. As I said, setting up the shots with your jab and not going hell for leather, because I do think that contributed to the fatigue that he suffered late on in the fight. Not just him overexerting himself in the 9th round. He was looking tired in the mid rounds as well. And I suspect some of that was, well, the heat obviously played a part in that, but I suspect some of it might have been the fact that he wasn't setting the shots up. He was just throwing big power shots and nothing was coming about them. So we're going to watch Anthony Joshua. We're going to watch the space now with him. The fallout from that post-fight interview was something that a lot of people are going to be talking about. Again, we'll have a live stream on about 7:30, and we'll talk about it then. But let me know your thoughts on Anthony Joshua's immediate future moving forward. What do you think? Are we going to see a new Anthony Joshua? Or maybe, some people say new Anthony Joshua. The Anthony Joshua that has been held in for the last 7-8 years. You know, this fiery Anthony Joshua, this, you know, in inverted commas, road man. You know, get rid of the AKA skins and bring in the real guys. Now bring in the real road men now. Are we going to see this Anthony Joshua moving forward? Could this actually be what Anthony Joshua needs to take that little step to the next level? At the end of the day, he's not taking a shellacking in that regard. He wasn't dropped a couple of times and battered from pillar to post against Usyk. Yeah, I felt Usyk won the fight comfortably. Shouldn't have been split, but he didn't disgrace himself. He had a lot of moments of success. I just felt that Usyk did more of what he needed, and he just nicked the rounds. There were certain rounds he won big, like the 10th. There's other rounds where he just done a little bit more, in my opinion. So that's my thoughts on all this. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section, what you feel should be next for Anthony Joshua. Like I said, I feel AJ should, bit of time off, maybe look to do the Dylan White rematch. I don't see that being a bad fight, to be honest with you, for Anthony Joshua. For Dylan White, very bad fight, but that's a fight that people would still get up for, I believe. Or if he looks to go the world title route, Hrgovic is there. I think there's a lot of... So here's the thing, right? The heavyweight division is a strong division. It is. There is a lot of risk in that top 10, excuse me. Even people like Deontay Wilder, there's a big, huge risk there. There's risk with guys like Frank Sanchez, who when I look at Frank Sanchez, I see a style that could trouble AJ. And I think Frank Sanchez is a bigger puncher than Usyk, although he doesn't tend to show it. He's got power there, so he's definitely a trouble. He's definitely a troublemaker in that division. And, you know, I think that the heavyweight division is interesting. But Hrgovic for an IBF eliminator, but maybe he'll look to try and push the IBF fight, who knows. But there are two options there. As for DAZN, I mean, you know, you have to wonder what's going on in Blavatnik's mind. You know, $100 million a year deal, ambassador for DAZN, and yeah, now he's taken another loss. It's that's interesting what's going to happen there. I'm sure DAZN have a contingency plan in place, but if he had a won, that would have been a big deal for DAZN. I think that if Anthony Joshua would fight Dylan White, and they did do it on pay-per-view, I mean, don't get me wrong, people would still buy it, but would it do the numbers that it would have done if, well, I don't think it would have been Dylan White next if Joshua would have won, but you get what I'm saying. A Joshua fight, if he had a won, be it against Fury or be it against whoever, I think it would have done better. I think AJ's stock would have risen. Has it taken another dip? Possibly it has. I know a lot of AJ's fans did tend to go away after the first Ruiz fight, and I'm not talking about the people who watch these videos, who will be the hardcore fans who support AJ. I'm not talking about yous. I'm talking about the guys who would just, you know, they, as I said, I spoke about this several times. There was people around where I know, where I'm from, who went to a public workout and just acted like AJ was, you know, their best bud, like they knew him, you know. They didn't even know who was fighting, didn't know anything about boxing. The minute he lost, they were deleting all them pictures, throwing him under the bus. You know, those types of people, they've long since left the building, and good riddance to them, to be fair. I mean, that those kind of people, you just good riddance. You know, they're the people who they supported Liverpool in 2020. Or sorry, 2020. Yeah, it was 2020. They supported Liverpool in 2020. They support Man City the last 2 years. If Chelsea win the league, they'll be Chelsea fans this year. Although I can't see Chelsea winning the league this year. I think it's a City win this year. To be honest with you, again, 3 in a row. But who knows? I'm not a City fan, by the way. But they're the kind of fans that originally would have followed Anthony Joshua. So we shall see what he does moving forward. It's interesting. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I just felt I'd get this video out, have a chat, and give my 2 cents on the situation in the cold light of day. But as I said, 7:30 this evening, we're going live for a live stream, review of the week tomorrow. And yeah, we will see where the week takes us. For now, I'll talk to you. I'll chat to you at 7:30. Peace.